Stop waiting for change. Force yourself to evolve. Listen carefully. You're not going to accidentally stumble into greatness. You're not going to wake up one morning magically transformed into your ideal self. That's a fantasy. A sedative they feed you to keep you docile and passive. Waiting for change is how men die with potential still buried inside them, never actualized, never expressed. Machiavelli understood something most people refuse to accept. The world doesn't reward those who wait patiently. It rewards the predatory, those who take what they want. Stop waiting. Start forcing. Evolution isn't gentle or comfortable. It's violent. It's painful. It requires you to systematically kill who you were yesterday. And most of you are too comfortable in your own prison to even attempt picking the lock. You've become addicted to your own mediocrity. You've mistaken familiarity for safety. But let me tell you what that safety really is. It's a slow death, a quiet surrender. The greatest threat to your power isn't some external enemy. It's your own hesitation, your own comfort, your own desperate need to be liked. Machiavelli said it is better to be feared than loved. You know why? Because fear is respect wrapped in truth. Love is often just manipulation dressed as affection. Drop a comment right now. I force my own evolution. Hope is a drug for the weak. Let me be clear. I'm not talking about vision or ambition. I'm talking about passive hope. The kind that makes you sit back and pray circumstances will magically align. The kind that makes you believe someone is coming to save you. No one is coming. No one cares about your potential except you. And if you don't weaponize it, it dies with you. Machiavelli watched men lose entire empires because they hoped their enemies would show mercy. He watched kingdoms crumble because leaders hoped loyalty would sustain itself. Hope without action is just fantasy with better marketing. You want real power? Stop hoping things will get better. Start making them bend to your will. Here's the truth they won't tell you. Change is not a gift, it's a conquest. You don't receive it, you seize it. You don't wait for the right moment, you create it. Timing is a myth sold to people who are afraid to act. The right time is always now. The right circumstances are the ones you forge with your own hands. Every day you wait, someone else is taking what could have been yours. Every day you hesitate, you're choosing comfort over dominance. And comfort is a silent killer. It whispers lies. It tells you there's always tomorrow. But tomorrow is where dreams go to die. Tomorrow is where men become ghosts of what they could have been. You think evolution happens naturally? Look around. Most people never evolve. They just age. They mistake survival for growth. They confuse breathing with living. Don't be them. Force yourself into the fire. Force yourself to adapt or be consumed. That's the only way. Comment below. I am the fire. You wear a mask every single day. Don't deny it. You've been trained to soften yourself, to apologize for your ambition, to shrink so others feel comfortable. Society has convinced you that aggression is toxic, that dominance is wrong, that wanting power makes you a villain. And you believed it. You swallowed that poison willingly. But here's what Machiavelli knew. The most dangerous men are the ones who pretend to be harmless. The most powerful players are the ones who understand that morality is a tool, not a chain. I'm not telling you to become evil. I'm telling you to become effective. There's a difference. Evil is chaos. Effectiveness is controlled force applied with precision. You've been conditioned to value fairness, to wait your turn, to play by rules that were designed to keep you in place. But the people who make the rules, they don't follow them. They never have. The elite understand something you're just beginning to grasp. Power protects itself, and it doesn't share. Stop asking for permission to be great. Stop seeking validation from people who benefit from your weakness. Their approval is worthless. Their criticism is even more worthless. You think lions ask sheep for permission to hunt? You think wolves apologize for their nature? Then why do you? The mask you wear, the agreeable one, the humble one, the nice guy, it's not protecting you. It's burying you. Every time you suppress your instinct to dominate, you're training yourself to submit. Every time you choose to be liked over being respected, you lose a piece of your power. And you can't get it back, not easily. Machiavelli wrote about princes who lost everything because they were too merciful, too trusting, too concerned with being loved. History doesn't remember the beloved, it remembers the powerful. It remembers the ones who shaped reality rather than accepting it. You want to be remembered? Stop being pleasant. Start being undeniable. Rip off that mask. Not all at once. That's foolish. Do it strategically. Let people see glimpses of what you're becoming. Let them sense the shift. Let them feel uncertain around you. Uncertainty creates respect. Predictability creates contempt. Drop this in the comments. I remove all masks. Before you can dominate your circumstances, you must dominate yourself. This is where most men fail catastrophically. They want to conquer the world, but can't conquer their own impulses. They want power over others, but have zero power over their own mind. It's pathetic, and it's exactly why they remain stuck. Machiavelli understood that the prince who cannot control himself cannot control his state. Self-mastery isn't optional. It's the foundation. Everything else is built on top of it. Your discipline, your focus, your ability to act when others freeze. All of it comes from internal domination. You are both the tyrant and the subject. Rule yourself with an iron fist. Start with your vices. Identify them, name them, then strangle them one by one. I don't care if it's comfort, laziness, lust, validation-seeking, or distraction. Whatever owns you, kill it. You think you're free? You're not. You're a slave to every impulse you can't control, every craving you submit to, every distraction you allow. That's not freedom. That's bondage dressed as choice. Cold showers, early mornings, fasting, silence, solitude. These aren't trends. They're tools of domination. They teach your body that you are in command, that discomfort is irrelevant, that your will supersedes your feelings. Most men are ruled by sensation, pleasure, pain, convenience. You must be different. You must be the one who commands sensation rather than obeys it. Dark psychology teaches us that humans are predictable. They avoid pain. They seek pleasure. They follow the path of least resistance. But you must become unpredictable. You must seek the hard path intentionally, because that's where power lives. That's where evolution is forced. Comfort zones are graveyards for potential. Your mind is a weapon, but right now it's untrained. It fires randomly. It gets hijacked by emotions, by fear, by the opinions of others. You need to sharpen it. You need to train it to be cold, calculating, and relentless. Emotion is useful, but only when you control when and how it's deployed. Anger has purpose. Fear has purpose. But if they control you, you're finished. Every morning you wake up is a battle. The enemy is your weaker self, the version of you that wants to stay in bed, that wants to scroll, that wants to avoid the hard conversation, the difficult task, the necessary confrontation. That version of you must die daily. You must execute it without mercy, without hesitation. This is not motivational nonsense. This is operational reality. You are in a war. The battlefield is your own mind. And if you lose here, you lose everywhere. Comment this phrase: I am my own general. Let's talk about something uncomfortable: morality. You've been taught that there's a universal code, a set of rules that everyone should follow. Good and evil, right and wrong, black and white. But here's the truth. Machiavelli whispered through the centuries: morality is contextual. It's a weapon. And the people who control the narrative control what's considered moral. Think about it. The same action can be heroic or villainous, depending on who's telling the story. Violence in war is honor. Violence in the streets is criminal. Taking resources from enemies is strategic. Taking resources from allies is theft. The action is identical. The label changes based on power dynamics, based on who's writing history. I'm not telling you to become immoral. I'm telling you to stop being naive. Stop believing that playing fair guarantees fair treatment. It doesn't. The world is not a just place. It's a competitive place. And competition doesn't care about your moral superiority. It cares about results, about who wins, about who takes, and who gets taken from. Machiavelli wrote that a prince must learn how not to be good. Not because goodness is wrong, but because rigid goodness is a liability. If you're predictably moral, you're exploitable. Your enemies will use your principles against you. They'll manipulate your sense of fairness. They'll weaponize your integrity while they operate without any. Dark psychology reveals this pattern everywhere. Manipulators prey on good people. Why? Because good people are consistent, predictable. They follow rules even when the rules disadvantage them. They honor agreements even when others don't. They extend trust because they believe in the best of humanity, and they get destroyed for it. You need a flexible morality, a strategic one. Be good to those who deserve it. Be ruthless with those who exploit it. Be honorable with the honorable. Be Machiavellian with the Machiavellian. Match energy, match strategy. Stop bringing kindness to knife fights. Stop bringing principles to power games. This doesn't mean you become a monster. It means you become intelligent. It means you recognize that different situations require different approaches. Sometimes mercy is strength. Sometimes mercy is weakness. Sometimes honesty is powerful. Sometimes it's suicide. Context is everything. The most dangerous people understand this fluidity. They can be charming when needed, cold when necessary, generous when it serves them, ruthless when it protects them. They're not bound by rigid rules. They're guided by strategic thinking. They operate in reality, not in idealistic fantasies. You want to know the real difference between powerful people and powerless people? Powerful people do what works. Powerless people do what feels right. Powerful people achieve outcomes. Powerless people preserve their self-image. One group changes the world, the other gets changed by it. Stop letting outdated moral frameworks limit you. Question everything you've been taught about right and wrong. Ask yourself, who benefits from these rules? Who profits from my compliance? Who gains power from my predictability? Once you see it, you can't unsee it. The game reveals itself. Morality is a tool. Use it wisely. Use it strategically. But never let it use you. Never let it become a cage. The moment your principles become predictable, someone will exploit them. Stay fluid. Stay strategic. Stay powerful. Comment right now. I define my own code. You need to understand something critical. Most people in your life are anchors, not engines. They're not pushing you forward, they're holding you back. And the worst part, you don't even realize it. You think these relationships are meaningful. You think this connection matters. But look at your life. Look at where you are. Now look at who you surround yourself with. See the correlation? Machiavelli advised the prince to trust no one completely, to keep advisors close but never dependent, to recognize that every relationship is transactional at its core. People don't love you. They love what you provide. Your energy, your attention, your resources, your validation. Remove those things and watch how quickly loyalty evaporates. This isn't cynicism. This is clarity. The sooner you accept that everyone operates from self-interest, the sooner you can operate effectively. Stop expecting unconditional loyalty. It doesn't exist. Even family will abandon you if the cost of supporting you exceeds the benefit. That's not cruelty. That's nature. That's human psychology stripped of romantic delusions. You need strategic isolation, not complete isolation. That's weakness disguised as strength, but calculated distance. Space to think without interference. Time to build without distraction. Room to evolve without people putting you back to who you used to be. Because here's what they don't tell you. The people who knew you before your transformation will fight your evolution the hardest. Why? Because your growth threatens their comfort. Your change forces them to confront their stagnation. When you level up, you hold up a mirror they don't want to look into. So they'll discourage you. They'll mock your ambition. They'll call you obsessed, crazy, cold. They'll use guilt. They'll use nostalgia. They'll use anything to keep you at their level. Cut them off, not with drama, not with announcements. Just fade, become busy, become unavailable. Let the relationship die naturally through neglect. You don't owe explanations. You don't owe closure. You owe yourself evolution. And anyone who can't evolve with you must be left behind. Dark psychology teaches us that proximity is influence. The 5 people you spend the most time with determine your trajectory more than your own intentions. If they're mediocre, you'll be mediocre. If they're complainers, you'll complain. If they're consumers, you'll consume. Influence is transferred through repeated exposure. Protect your environment like you'd protect your mind, because they're connected. Build a new circle. Find people who intimidate you slightly. People who are ahead of where you want to be. People who don't coddle you. People who challenge your thinking, push your limits, demand excellence. These relationships should be uncomfortable. Growth lives in discomfort. Stagnation lives in familiarity. But here's the twist. Even in these new relationships, maintain distance. Share strategically. Reveal selectively. Keep your full hand hidden. Machiavelli knew that vulnerability is a weapon others will use against you. The moment someone knows your fears, your weaknesses, your true desires, they own leverage. Control information. Control access. Control what people know about you. Solitude is where you forge yourself. Isolation is where clarity emerges. The noise of constant connection drowns out your inner voice. The demands of others drain your creative energy. You need silent time, alone time, time where no one can influence you, distract you, or dilute your focus. Learn to be comfortable in your own company. Learn to sit with yourself without needing entertainment, validation, or distraction. Most people can't do this. They're terrified of their own thoughts. They need constant stimulation to avoid confronting who they really are. But you need to become intimate with solitude, because that's where your power is refined. Isolation isn't loneliness. Loneliness is needing others and not having them. Isolation is choosing yourself over the crowd. One is weakness, the other is strength. Know the difference. Drop this in the comments. I choose power over popularity. Time is the only resource you can't recover. Every second you waste is gone forever. Every hour spent on meaningless activities is an hour stolen from your evolution. And yet you treat time like it's infinite, like you have decades to figure things out. Like someday you'll get serious. But someday is a fantasy. Someday is where ambition goes to die. Machiavelli understood that fortune favors the swift, that hesitation kills more dreams than failure ever will, that the leader who acts decisively, even imperfectly, defeats the one who waits for perfect conditions. Perfect conditions don't exist. They never have. They never will. You're waiting for a green light that will never come. Stop waiting. Move now. Look at your day. Honestly examine where your time goes. How many hours disappear into your phone, into mindless scrolling, into consuming content instead of creating value, into conversations that lead nowhere, into activities that feel productive but produce nothing. You're bleeding time, and you're pretending not to notice. Dark psychology reveals that distraction is a control mechanism. The powers that be don't need to imprison you physically. They just need to imprison your attention, keep you entertained, keep you outraged, keep you consuming, keep you distracted. A distracted population is a controllable population. A focused individual is dangerous. Are you distracted or dangerous? Every master of power throughout history understood time management at a molecular level. They didn't have more hours than you. They had more discipline, more ruthlessness about what deserved their attention. They cut out everything that didn't serve their ascension. Entertainment, minimal. Socializing, strategic. Rest, calculated. Every moment was weaponized toward a singular purpose. You need to become obsessive about your time. Track it, measure it, audit it like a business audits finances. Where is it going? What's the return on investment? If you spent 3 hours on social media, what did you gain? If you spent 2 hours with people who don't elevate you, what was the purpose? Time spent without purpose is time murdered. Build a schedule that reflects your ambitions, not your comfort. Wake up earlier than you want to. Work longer than feels reasonable. Cut out activities that feel good but produce nothing. I'm not talking about burnout. I'm talking about intensity. There's a difference. Burnout comes from working on things you don't care about. Intensity comes from obsession with something that matters. Machiavelli wrote about the importance of appearing busy, even when you're not, to control how others perceive your availability. But I'm telling you something deeper. Actually be busy. Be so consumed by your evolution that you have no time for drama, gossip, or petty concerns. Let people think you're obsessed. Let them call you extreme. Their opinions are noise. Your results will be the response. Eliminate time vampires. You know who they are. The people who always need something, who always have a crisis, who always want to vent, who drain your energy with their problems, but never implement your solutions. They're not looking for help. They're looking for attention. Stop giving it to them. Your time is too valuable. Create time blocks for deep work, hours where you're unreachable, where notifications are off, where the world can't access you. This is sacred time. This is where transformation happens. Most people will never do this because they're addicted to availability. They're addicted to being needed. They've confused busyness with importance. You must be different. Understand that saying yes to something always means saying no to something else. When you say yes to scrolling, you're saying no to building. When you say yes to that party, you're saying no to progress. When you say yes to comfort, you're saying no to evolution. Every choice is a trade. Make sure you're trading up, not down. The wealthy understand time differently than the poor. The poor trade time for money. The middle class trade time for salary. The wealthy leverage time through systems, people, and assets. But before you can build systems, you need to master your own time. You need to prove you can manage 24 hours before you can manage empires. Stop killing time. Time is killing you. Every wasted hour is a piece of your potential that dies. Every lazy day is a day your competition gains ground. Every moment spent in distraction is a moment you'll never recover. The clock is ticking. It doesn't care about your excuses. It doesn't care about your intentions. It only measures what you actually do. Comment this now. I weaponize every hour. Comfort is your enemy. Let me say that again because you need to feel it in your bones. Comfort is your enemy. It's not neutral. It's not harmless. It's actively destroying you. Every day you choose the easy path, you're choosing death. Slow death. The kind that doesn't kill your body but murders your potential. The kind that lets you survive but never lets you dominate. Machiavelli observed that nations fall not from external invasion, but from internal softness. When citizens become too comfortable, too entitled, too weak, that's when empires crumble. The same applies to you. Your greatest threat isn't your competition. It's your own desire for ease, your own addiction to pleasure, your own need for everything to feel good. Look at modern society. It's engineered for maximum comfort. Temperature-controlled environments, instant food delivery, endless entertainment, one-click purchases. Everything designed to require minimum effort. And what has it produced? The weakest generation in history. People who can't handle discomfort, who can't tolerate boredom, who collapse at the first sign of hardship. You've been domesticated, trained like a pet to seek treats and avoid pain. Your instincts have been dulled. Your tolerance for struggle has atrophied. You've become soft without even realizing it. And softness is a terminal disease in a world that rewards the ruthless. Here's what you need to understand. Every comfort you accept is a piece of power you surrender. That snooze button? You just told yourself you can't be trusted. That delivered meal when you could have cooked? You just reinforced dependency. That temperature adjustment because you felt slightly uncomfortable? You just taught yourself that discomfort is intolerable. You need to persecute your comfort, hunt it down, destroy it systematically. Make yourself uncomfortable on purpose, deliberately, religiously. Cold exposure, heat exposure, hunger, fatigue, silence, solitude, physical pain, mental strain. These aren't punishments, they're inoculations. They're teaching your nervous system that discomfort is survivable, that you can function, dominate while uncomfortable. Dark psychology shows us that humans will do almost anything to avoid discomfort. This makes them predictable, controllable, manipulable. But if you can become comfortable with discomfort, you become unpredictable. You become uncontrollable. You can make decisions based on strategy rather than sensation. You can act when others freeze. You can persist when others quit. Most men negotiate with discomfort. They bargain with it. Just 5 more minutes in bed. Just one cheat meal. Just today I'll skip the workout. Every negotiation is a loss. Every compromise with comfort is a step backward. You don't negotiate with weakness. You annihilate it. Your body is lying to you constantly. It tells you you're tired when you're not. It tells you you're hungry when you're just bored. It tells you you can't when you absolutely can. Your body is designed for survival, not excellence. It wants to conserve energy. It wants to avoid risk. It wants comfort. But you're not trying to survive. You're trying to dominate, override the signals, push past the false limits. Your body will tell you to stop at 70%, go to 90. It will scream at you. Ignore it. It will try to negotiate, refuse, show it who's in command. Break it, then build it back stronger. That's evolution. That's forced adaptation. Machiavelli wrote that the prince must be like a lion and a fox, strong and cunning. But first, you must be like iron, forged in fire, hardened through pressure, refined through suffering. You can't develop fox cunning or lion strength from a place of softness. You can't strategize effectively when you're enslaved to comfort. Every successful person you admire has a relationship with discomfort that you don't. They've made peace with suffering. They've learned to function in states that would break you. They don't avoid hard things. They seek them out. They know that ease creates weakness and struggle creates strength. Stop optimizing for comfort. Start optimizing for growth. These are opposing forces. You can't have both. You can't evolve while remaining comfortable. Evolution requires stress. It requires challenge. It requires conditions harsh enough to force adaptation. Create those conditions deliberately. The modern world will call this extreme, toxic, unhealthy. Let them. While they're comfortable, you'll be becoming dangerous. While they're seeking ease, you'll be building capacity. While they're avoiding discomfort, you'll be mastering it. And when the inevitable hardship comes, and it always comes, they'll break. You'll thrive. Comment below. Comfort is my enemy. No one needs to know you're changing. In fact, it's better if they don't. Transformation is not a performance. It's not content for your social media. It's not something you announce to gain validation. Real power is built in silence. Real evolution happens in the shadows. While everyone else is broadcasting their intentions, you should be executing in darkness. Machiavelli warned against revealing your plans before they're completed. Why? Because people will sabotage what they can see coming. They'll interfere, they'll discourage, they'll plant doubt, they'll compete, they'll steal. Loose lips don't just sink ships. They destroy destinies. Keep your mouth shut. Let your results do the talking. Here's a truth from dark psychology. When you announce your goals, your brain releases dopamine, as if you've already achieved them. You get a pleasure hit from the attention, the encouragement, the likes and comments. But that dopamine is stolen from your execution. You've already received the reward, so your motivation to actually do the work decreases. You've traded real accomplishment for fake validation. Stop telling people what you're going to do. Stop posting your morning routine. Stop sharing your business ideas. Stop announcing your goals. Just work, quietly, obsessively, relentlessly. Let them wonder where you went. Let them be confused by your absence, then reappear transformed. Let your evolution be the announcement. The people around you have a vested interest in you staying the same. Your change disrupts their reality. It challenges their choices. It threatens their comfort. So they'll discourage you. Sometimes consciously, often unconsciously. They'll tell you it's unrealistic. They'll remind you of past failures. They'll question your sudden intensity. They'll try to pull you back to who you were, because that person was safe, predictable, controllable. Disappear from their radar, not literally, but mentally. Become boring to them. Give them nothing to gossip about. No updates, no explanations, no emotional displays. Become a mystery. Become unavailable. Become focused to the point where you're uninteresting to people who don't share your vision. This is psychological warfare. You're operating on a different frequency now. You're playing a different game. But if they know you're playing, They'll try to pull you back into their game. So don't let them see. Don't let them know. Move in silence like a predator. Strike when you're ready, not when you're expected. Machiavelli understood the power of surprise, of attacking when enemies assume you're weak, of revealing strength only when it's too late for them to counter. Your transformation should feel sudden to others, even though you've been building it for months or years. Let them think you changed overnight. Let them believe in magic. Don't give them the blueprint. Social media has destroyed this principle. Everyone documents everything. Every workout, every book, every minor win. They're building an audience instead of building themselves. They're creating a persona instead of creating results. And the irony? The documentation slows the actual progress. The time spent posting is time stolen from doing. You want to know who's really dangerous? The person who disappeared for 6 months and came back completely different. The person who stopped talking about their plans and just executed. The person who went silent while everyone else was performing. That's who you should be. This doesn't mean isolation. It means discretion. Work with mentors who are ahead of you. Collaborate with people at your level or higher. But stop seeking validation from people who aren't on your path. Stop explaining yourself to people who wouldn't understand anyway. Your transformation is not a community project. It's a solo mission. Keep a private journal. Document everything there. Your struggles, your wins, your strategies, your observations. But keep it private. This is for you. This is your map. This is how you track progress without performing progress. Write like no one will ever read it. Be honest in a way you can't be publicly. There's power in mystery, in unpredictability. When people can't track you, they can't stop you. When they can't see your moves, they can't counter them. When they don't know what you're building, they can't sabotage it. Opacity is protection. Silence is strategy. Let your old self die quietly. No funeral, no announcement, no farewell tour. Just stop being that person. Start being the new one, in silence, in privacy, in the shadows where real transformation occurs. When you finally reveal what you've become, it should shock them. It should seem impossible. It should make them ask, how did this happen? And you'll smile because they'll never know. They weren't there in the 4 a.m. sessions, in the cold showers, in the silent suffering. They only see the after, never the during. Comment this phrase, I build in silence. If this resonated with you, hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. Turn on notifications because we're building something powerful here. Comment below which principle you'll apply first. Force your evolution. Build in silence. Become dangerous. Your transformation starts now.